Oh, hello there, and welcome to another edition of
Will It Kill You?
Tonight, we take a look at MSG, or Monosodium Glutamate, the
hidden danger, silent killer, evil white powder that excites your brain cells to death.
MSG is a flavour enhancer. It draws out that meaty, brothy, savoury taste that's also known as umami flavour, though it doesn't taste that great on its own.
Now you tell me.
MSG occurs naturally in meat, dairy products, vegetables, even in our own bodies.
Delicious.
So how did it get such a bad rap, and why do so many Chinese restaurants make a point of saying they don't add it? The answer to that question begins more than a century ago, not in China, but Japan, with a Japanese chemist.
What do you call this, love?
Oh, it's just seaweed soup, darl.
Yeah, but it's what you've done with it.
He loved his wife's seaweed soup so much, he analysed it to find out what made it so tasty.
MSG.
And set about mass producing it.
Ajinomoto, the essence of taste.
Pretty soon, MSG was all over Japan and China, which had its own version called
Buddha's hand.
America was buying loads of it too and putting it in canned food like Campbell's soup. By 1947, you could buy MSG seasoning straight off the supermarket shelf.
Accent makes food flavors sing.
And for a long time, everyone was eating MSG and everything was fine. Until 1968.
To the editor.
When Robert Kwok, a Chinese immigrant and medical doctor, wrote a letter to the New England Journal of Medicine describing symptoms he experienced after eating at a Chinese restaurant.
Numbness at the back of the neck. General weakness and palpitation.
Dr. Kwok speculated the cause could be soy sauce, cooking wine, the large quantities of salt in the food, or
Monosodium Glutamate.
I wonder if my friends in the medical field would be interested in seeking more information.
The letter sparked heated debate in the medical journal.
I have experienced symptoms similar to those described.
Chinese restaurant syndrome is totally illusionary and non-existent.
I didn't say it wasn't delicious.
But once the wider media caught on, the story spread.
Flavoring agent tied to strange ailment from Chinese food. Bewildering malady strikes some patrons of Chinese restaurants. Can Chinese food give pain in the neck?
And fears about MSG grew. By the 70s, debate over MSG research was raging. Anti-MSG campaigners accused researchers of
colluding with the food industry to protect their financial interests.
Which was a fair point. 5 of the 7 scientists who conducted the FDA's first review of MSG safety had links to the industry. But the anti-MSG camp was accused of
fear-mongering and exaggerating findings that don't resemble the way humans consume MSG.
Also fair. MSG studies with negative findings often couldn't be replicated, and some involved injecting rats and mice with way more MSG than you'd ever eat.
Oh, no, this is for me.
And as the apparent epidemic continued, the list of MSG-caused symptoms grew longer and stranger.
Mild headache, depression, sexual arousal, and an irresistible urge to undress?
It was the MSG.
But weirdly, the MSG in breakfast cereals, TV dinners, frozen vegetables, condiments, baby food and canned soup seemed less of a concern. Maybe that's because the whole debate was just a little bit racist.
It's all a rumour spread by the Italians.
Well, that's kind of racist too. And here's the thing, while MSG's bad reputation persists to this day, evidence that it's harmful is still in short supply. A review of studies into whether MSG causes headaches found they had flawed methods and inconsistent findings and said further studies are required. A 2012 Cochrane review found no evidence that MSG worsens asthma, and in studies with people who believe they're sensitive to MSG, scientists haven't been able to consistently trigger reactions, which doesn't mean their symptoms aren't real. It just means they haven't been shown to be caused by MSG. Meanwhile, major food authorities consider MSG to be safe in the levels humans are likely to ingest it, which is less than half a gram in a typical serving of food with added MSG. The US Food and Drug Administration also acknowledges that
some sensitive individuals may experience short-term and generally mild symptoms after consuming 3 grams or more of MSG without food.
without food? Who would do that?
What do you call this, love?
Pure MSG without food.
If you are still keen to avoid MSG, where it's used as a separate ingredient, it must be listed on the label, though it can just be called Flavour Enhancer 621. But where it occurs naturally in an ingredient, it doesn't have to be listed separately, and it could be in any of these. Which isn't very helpful. And since naturally occurring MSG is chemically identical to the additive, I guess we'll just have to tell you every single food it's in. Mushrooms, tomatoes, corn, walnuts, pork chops, Vegemite, Parmesan cheese, peas, oysters, breast milk.
Kirsten, I'm on maternity leave.
Oh yeah, sorry. He's very cute.
I know.